सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna. And welcome all the devotees back to Sikshastakam series. Yesterday we discussed the fourth shloka of Sikshastakam. We had a very quick preview of the first three shlokas and went a little deeper into the fourth shloka. Today we will discuss the fifth shloka. Before I do that, one round of quick recap. What do you remember from yesterday's discussion? In 5 minutes, some interaction. Anyone?
The four aspects of, five aspects of wealth and attraction towards opposite sex, name and fame, and followers, and Shastra, trying to find Kavitamba Jagatname.
Desire of liberation.
And
liberation. 5 obstacles. In the fourth shloka, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes 5 obstacles of bhakti: dhanam, janam, sundari, kavita, and desire for liberation. If the Lord wants a devotee to take birth again, the Lord is happy. The devotee is happy. He doesn't want liberation from the cycle of birth and death. So 5 obstacles we have seen. Anything else? First 4 shlokas.
Discussing that the first 5 slokas describe Samadhanyan and last 3 slokas describe Prayojana and all the 8 slokas describe
Okay. Anything more?
Free will,
One by one. Yes.
free will and independence is a scary thing in the Bhakti. We are right example we can discuss.
Yes. Because we are living entities, we should have independence, we should have svecha. Some minute independence and free will are natural characteristics of the soul. But the Lord, what He does is He gives us some independence and He gives us knowledge. With this knowledge, you use your independence and don't misuse the independence. Right? If you use it appropriately, you'll come closer to me. If you misuse it, you'll go away from me. But I will not interfere with the way you are using this free will. So that's a privilege for us in one sense. We have some freedom. But it also is scary. If I don't use what I have in an appropriate manner, I'll go far away from Krishna. So it's the responsibility of a sadhaka. In fact, the essence of spiritual life is how effectively, how maturely are we using our minute independence to choose to serve Krishna, to choose to come closer to Krishna, and to choose to stay away from Maya. But if you choose to stay closer to Maya, Krishna will not interfere with it. He will give a suggestion, he will give us inspiration, he will not impose. Okay. Any other point?
First sloka describes 7 benefits of Krishna.
Next.
Possessing wealth is not a problem.
Possessions are not a problem. Possessiveness is the problem. Next. Any other points from the yesterday's discussion?
4 items which are favorable for devotion.
Pranadapi Sulichana, Tarorapi Sulichana, Avayana Manya. Humility, tolerance, freedom from false prestige, and respecting everyone. Remember the great example, Prabhuji was saying, great example is very tricky. Right. So we
These
are like,
three services one should never take up voluntarily.
if no one is there, you should take it up, but one should not be over enthusiastic. Nothing wrong in taking up these three services even voluntarily also, but the mood is important. Because these three services are attention attract. Sometimes the sadhaka may be tricked to focus more on the attention one is getting than the service opportunity there. Whether it is worshipping the deities or leading kirtans or giving classes, these three are attention attracting. Especially they attract the opposite gender. So one has to be extremely careful to not get into the trap, but do them with proper consciousness. Then it's a wonderful service. It's a bona fide and needed service. Okay, anything else?
Tolerating happiness and inconvenience, but not injustice.
Yeah, you can tolerate inconveniences, happiness and distress, sukha dukha you can tolerate, sita vishna you can tolerate, but anyaya adharma we should not tolerate. Right? Especially when somebody is blaspheming the Lord and his devotees, a devotee never tolerates. Okay. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, I was just meditating on what you told yesterday, and the one thought that came is, and actually you can see that many people who are behind jnana, and devotees come for different reasons to satsang. Some people have a tendency of knowledge, like getting more and more. Some people into seva, some people into, chanting and others. But people who come towards knowledge, only focusing on knowledge, start very easily comparing with others. That he doesn't know knowledge, and they start sharing more and more, as if they only know. And people become very discomfortable and around them, and kind of that also becomes a obstacle in their. Rather than telling how much knowledge they have, they should show it by their own practice. How much they're following it. That's what I was.
Correct, definitely. Actually, jnana and vairagya are supposed to be accompaniments of bhakti. They should not overpower bhakti. So when we do bhakti, you definitely get some knowledge, right? Knowledge about Krishna's name, Rupa, Guna, Leela is a product of the process of bhakti. Because in the process of bhakti, the first item is Shravana. When you do Shravana, you will get some understanding of Krishna's name, Rupa, Guna, Leela. That's great, it's amazing. But our knowledge should be devotional knowledge and not dry knowledge, speculative knowledge. Unnecessarily getting too analytical and philosophical, and if those philosophical, analytical, speculative, intellectual gymnastics overpower our devotional bhava, then we have missed the point, we missed the essence. Actually, Rupa Goswami gives us a very big warning. Jnana and vairagya, they make our hearts hard-hearted. We become hard-hearted by too much of jnana and vairagya. Vairagya has to be there, but it should not be too much vairagya. Jnana has to be there, it should not be too much jnana. Like when somebody dies, he should have the dies are undergoing some trouble, some problem. You should have that soft-heartedness to empathize with them, sympathize with them, be kind and compassionate upon them, not saying that you are not his body. Yes, jnana. But what's the reason that jnana? He is not acknowledging someone else's pain. Right? So jnana should not overpower daya. When somebody is too analytical, they don't have soft emotions. Right? So similarly, vairagya also. Yesterday we were discussing, right? Cheto Darpanam Arjana. The mirror of the heart is cleansed by Sri Krishna Sankirtan. We were discussing. Yeah, 7 effects of Sri Krishna Sankirtan. First effect is cleansing the heart from the dirt. And what is the dirt? Do not have to say. The dirt is 3 types. We discussed it yesterday. 3 types of dirt. No? So one is Anyabhilasha, material desires. Second is Bhoga, material enjoyment. In overindulgence in sense pleasures, that is Bhoga. Third is Tyaga. Renunciation is also dirt covering the heart. So when the renunciation is dry renunciation, prapanchikataya buddhya harisambandhi vastunah mumukshirva parityago vairagyam phallu kathite. If you think this is material, this phone is material, this tripod is material, I will not touch it. that can be utilized in Krishna seva. So that which has a potential to be used in Krishna seva should not be rejected. If you reject those objects, material objects that can be nicely engaged in Krishna service, that is called Falgu Vairagya, useless renunciation, dry renunciation. That kind of renunciation is an obstacle in bhakti. So Jnana and Vairagya will make us hard-hearted. We cannot empathize with people, sympathize with people, we cannot develop soft emotions for the Supreme Lord. Shall we start? Any other points? Two. Yes, I will hear this point and I will take the question. As question, yours is point, yours is question. Yes, please.
Bhakti on jnana, is it what exactly is this jnana that we are talking about? Is whatever we hear for devotion service in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, is that jnana or which jnana are we talking about?
Good question. When Rupa Goswami said, Anya Bhilashita Sunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavartam, he is not eliminating jnana. In bhakti, there is a lot of bhakti jnana, devotional knowledge of Krishna's Nama Rupa Guna Lila. As you said, when you're reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, you get some knowledge. That knowledge is favorable for bhakti. But there is some set of spiritual practitioners, they cultivate jnana with a intention to enter Brahman. So some jnana is like only neti jnana, not this, means they only analyze matter and spirit and they understand that matter is temporary, I should stay away from matter. And spiritual is impersonal, spirit is impersonal, I should enter into a personal Brahman. That is the jnana they have. Only speculative or overly intellectual philosophical analysis of matter and spirit. They don't enter actual form of the spirit. Spirit is different from matter. Like in the material world, there are relationships. Spiritual realm means no relationships. Here there are forms, there are no forms. Here there are activities, there should not be any activities. This is called neti jnana. Means whatever you see in this material world, they analyze it and they generate an opposite conception of what they see in the material world. Because in the material world, relationships will create a lot of problems. In the spiritual world, there should not be any problems. Means no relationships. Here the forms are material, they are subjected to transformation. So in the spiritual world, no transformation as such, there should be constancy. So what is constant? Voidness, nothingness. So this is another type of jnana, too much of jnana. And they will convince you also. Sometimes they will convince us that spiritual realm means no forms, no names, no activities, no relations, no rasas. That voidness, that nirvisesha, attributelessness, lack of variegatedness is the ultimate spiritual realm. This kind of jnana is what is eliminated. And sometimes jnana tendency can also manifest in being overly analytical. As Prabhupada says, paralysis by analysis. You just see even for Vaishnava scriptures like Gita Bhagavatam only, from a linguistic perspective, you do some linguistic analysis, grammatical analysis, poetic analysis, chandas, meter analysis, and historical analysis. You see from Manvantara perspective, you see from Yoga perspective, you will just miss the main point. So that also, it's not impersonal jnana definitely, but that's unnecessary jnana. Too much of knowledge. So that knowledge we should not take in there. We should be Saragrahis and not Bharavahis. Bharavah is a burden carrier of unnecessary knowledge, and Saragrahi is an essence seeker of most essential knowledge.
Because sometimes some may have tendency to listen a lot of Bhagavatam or study Bhagavatam or anything. Is that wrong? Or
If they want to study more, if they want to hear more in a very devotional mood, just with an eagerness to know Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela nicely and develop a connection with Krishna, that's wonderful, amazing. More eagerness for Sravanam is devotional. But sometimes we see in our classes also, we see when some devotees' questions are very, very information oriented. In which birth it happened, in which manvantara this happened, what is the dimension of this planet, what is the purva janma of this personality that made him like this. Instead of appreciating the mercy element there, the emotional aspect of the devotional emotion of that pastime, they focus too much on the dry the information side of the pastime. So, if that is their tendency, then they have a long way to go. So you need to seek the essence. Ajay, what happened in this past life? Prahalad, who was in this past life? The information is given by Acharyas, please relish it. And with extra information is enhancing your devotion, that's amazing. But if the focus is only on information and not on the essence, that's a problem. Somebody asked one of our preachers, which name is great? Krishna's name or Vishnu's name? Then our preacher said, whose name do you chant? Kisi ko bhi nahi. Then he said, kya farak padta hai? This is not to know whose name is better, but you don't want to chant any name. What use of that knowledge? What is use of knowing whether Krishna is great or Vishnu is great, whose name is great? Even if you got hundreds of Shastric statements, it's not of much relevance to them because they don't want to follow. When I was in IASC, there is one, his name is Nageshwara, one of our classmates. So I went to his room. He has Gita plus Bhagavad Gita, this thick, bigger than our ISKCON Bhagavad Gita. It's a thick Bhagavad Gita. I asked, who do you read Bhagavad Gita? I never read Bhagavad Gita then, since till that point, 2005, 6 like that. I recited, but I never read. I asked him, do you read Bhagavad Gita? He said, yeah, I read. I read 14 times. 14 times you read Bhagavad Gita. Oh, amazing. Then why are you in Bemis? I asked him. Amos is vegetarian mess, Bemis is non-vegetarian mess. Why are you in Bemis? Yes, that's all I done. I like it. I like meat also. And I just want to know philosophy. Bhagavad Gita, just philosophical understanding. Just to know philosophy, that's all. Well, he knows this is the Mohammedan food, but he wants to follow the Mohammedan. He is not even making an attempt, he is quite comfortable with it. Some people accumulate knowledge. I never read 14 times Bhagavad Gita at that time. And it took 14 years for me to read. But by the time, at the early 20s, only he read 14 times, but there is no transformation. There is an accumulation of information. There is no transformation. It's like somebody going on the Amazon and then exploring all the products, gadgets, products, comparing their specifications, getting a lot of information about the new models, going on YouTube. YouTube sometimes has comparison of models, right? This phone model, this phone model. I saw, long back I saw, somebody kept these 2-3 phones on a stick and started running. So they want to take footage of all these 3 cameras, it seems, compare the footage of all 3 cameras, how they capture running video. Something like that. I didn't see much, but that was I remember. They accumulate, but which gadget do you buy? No, I already have one. They already have one, but they don't want to purchase anything, but they want to know about everything. So if you just accumulate information without application of that information, that's just atyaha. Atyaha is not just eating more. Knowing more also is atyaha. Reading too many books. In fact, when you read too many books, this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke to Tapa Mishra. When you read too many books, Bahu Shastra, Bahu Vakya, Chitte Brahma Hai. When you read too many statements and too many books, too many scriptures also, Chitte Brahma Hai, you get confused. Sadhana Sadhya, what is the essence or goal of life and how to attain it. So these 2 things will miss. Because too many people are saying too many things, you can't understand, you can't subscribe to one path. You are confused in exploring multiple paths. So I have seen people who are entering 30s, 40s, 50s, like they're still figuring out what's the life of, what's the aim of life. Means they could not adopt one process. They could not subscribe to one process to follow. That is exploring, life will pass. Human life will pass. So fortunate people come to the essential path by Krishna's grace, by devotee's grace, and then they follow. Knowledge is important, nothing wrong in it. But too much of knowledge that wastes our time, that confuses us, bewilders us, that distracts us from the essence, that's an anartha. Now let's enter this 5th shloka. You want to say something?
Prabhuji, the aspect that you told that daya is more important than jnana, that is really very deep statement. Because many times I feel, I personally have seen in my small spiritual life, that people when they get knowledge, they very easily get pumped up and they get arrogant. very immediately. I mean, they learn 2 slokas and they feel they've learned the entire Vedas, and they start. And I've seen one devotee, I don't name any other was sitting beside me. One great sannyasi was giving lecture. He quoted half the sloka, because in the flow, and sometimes some Western senior devotees, they're not able to quote the sloka properly in Sanskrit. They just surface it up. But the essence they speak, the most relevant. His focus was what? This is also not quoting slokas properly like that, his thought process. I was thinking, my God, how dangerous is jnana when it is not, complemented along with seva and daya. He told that I was remembering that daya is not even merciful on anyone, like I want to share information in the group, but I don't want to come to satsangs, I don't want to do any seva, I don't want to be doing any menial service, I don't want, but I think I'm a most knowledgeable person in the satsang. That can so easily crop up. How do we protect ourselves from that?
Actually, knowledge that does not induce humility in us is just a burden. It's actually ignorance. Vidya Vinaya Sampanni. Vidya is supposed to induce Vinayaness. Vidya is jnana, knowledge. Vinaya means humility. Vinaya plus jnana becomes Vijnana. Ahankar plus jnana becomes Ajnana. You take Vinaya, V from Vinaya, and put it in front of jnana, it becomes Vijnana, realization. Knowledge that is accompanied by humility leads to realization of that. You internalize it, you realize it, you absorb it, you understand it, you implement it, you apply it, you demonstrate it. That's what knowledge is supposed to do when it is accompanied with humility. But if the knowledge is inducing arrogance in us, ahankar plus jnana, take half and put it in front of jnana, it becomes ajnana, ignorance. My Smriti Master said, you may have read hundreds of scriptures, you can quote hundreds of shlokas, you can mesmerize the audience, you may be extremely eloquent, but if there is even a slight tinge of envy and pride in your heart, you have not understood a single syllable of what you are studying and speaking. Same statement, he said this in 2011 Kartik Yatra, sitting right in front of Govardhan Mountain. Did you ask Govardhan? 2011 Kartik Yatra was that. Profound statement. So there's a slight tinge of envy and pride in the heart. We have not understood a single sentence of what we are studying or reading or hearing or speaking or teaching others, enlightening others. Sometimes when there is too much knowledge, people sit in a class not like a student, like a jury panel, like a judge, evaluating, giving marks. So, kitna mark is 10, 5 is sufficient. This class 5 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Why? He quoted so many stories. Some people have another evaluation. These many jokes are there. These many punchlines are there. This much statistics are there. This much information is there. This much. Now, all these are fine if they are all meant to bring us closer to Krishna. The point is, people, they lose the mood of being a student. When we know so much, instead of considering ourselves as a learner, we become an earner of knowledge, of information. We are here to learn. So learning comes not only by hearing information, accumulating information, learning comes by a mode of submissiveness. The same Putana story, the same Govardhan story, the same Kaliya story, you hear hundreds of times. Every time this pastime, well read and well spoken and well heard pastime, can present multiple versions of multiple perspectives of the same story. We'll understand and we'll equip ourselves with deeper and deeper ways of relishing the same pastime. We are here to relish the katha, not just squeeze out some speculative lessons and kuch is nahi. We want everything new. But when the more we advance in bhakti, we will see the pastime newly, freshly, every time. There is fresh enthusiasm. That enthusiasm makes the pastime fresh and not the fresh new perspectives or new angles of vision. New angles anyways will be revealed. But That's not the jnana in this. People have the relation better. Anyways, so we'll go to the fifth shloka. So the fifth shloka says, I'll complete by 9:30. Sometimes classes will become like meetings, discussions. But this is also good. You can learn more. In smaller forums, I sometimes get into interaction. Now, the fifth shloka, Mahaprabhu says, Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam ma mushame bhavam budau kripaya tava pada pankaja sthita dhumi sadasham. It says, Ainanda tanuja kinkaram. I am the kinkara, servant of Nanda Tanuja. Who is Nanda Tanuja? Nanda Maharaja's son. I am the kinkara. I am the humble, menial servant of Nanda Maharaja's son Krishna. Basically, in this shloka, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks two things. Two states of a soul. Every soul, every conditioned soul has two states. What are they? One is the conditional state, second is the constitutional state. One, the temporary state, second, the permanent state. So Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu highlights these two states of the conditioned soul in this shloka. What is the constitutional state? Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram, I think Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram. I am the servant of Nanda Maharaj. That's our constitutional state. What is the conditioned state? Patitam mam vishame bhavam bhutam. Patitam, I have fallen into this material world. Vishame bhavam bhutam, very terrible state of bhava ambudhi. Just imagine you are drowning in this material ocean and the shore is nowhere to be seen. And you don't know swimming. There is no boat coming to rescue you. There is no expert swimmer coming to give you extend a helping hand. Nothing. You are just drowning in this ocean. Very scary situation. So that is the conditioned state of the conditioned soul. There is constitutional state where you are a humble, venial, eternal, dedicated, sincere servant of Krishna, and there is a conditioned state where we are struggling in this material world. So Mahaprabhu describes these two states. And later, in the second half of the shloka, Mahaprabhu says how we can make a transition from this state to this state. This is conditioned state, fallen state. This is constitutional state, servant of Krishna. How to make a transition from here to here? How to come from here to here? That is the shloka. Patitam mam vishame bhavam budau kripaya tava pada pankaja sthita dhuli sadrisham vichintaya. Please pick me up from this fallen state, O Krishna, and reinstate me as a speck of dust at your lotus feet. So what is the process of transcending this conditioned state and attaining the constitutional state? Humbly praying to Krishna, because it doesn't happen only by our parishrama. Yes, our endeavor is important, no doubt, but we need to pray to Krishna. We need to request Krishna, please, Krishna, help me come back to my original constitutional eternal state of being your servant. But then we need to humbly beg Krishna, pray to Krishna. Right? Kripaya, out of your mercy, Kripaya tava pada pankaja sthita. Tava means yours. Pada pankaja means lotus feet. Sthita means being situated. Please position me. Please situate me there. I want that location at your lotus feet. Tava pada pankaja sthita dhuli sadrisham vichintaya. So we need to understand our constitutional position at least intellectually first, and we need to pray to Krishna, please reinstate me there. Wherever I am in this material world, let me just have your loving affection, an opportunity to understand this to you. So that's what Mahaprabhu says in this shloka, the fifth shloka. The fifth shloka actually introduces us to our Swarupa. What is our Swarupa? Jivera Swarupa hai Krishnera Nityadas. So the first four shlokas describe Sambandha Jnana in different ways. First shloka describes 7 aspects of Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Second shloka describes 3 qualities of Krishna's name and our misfortune in lacking taste in that Krishna's name. Then third shloka told how to develop the taste in Krishna's name by developing 4 qualities. And fifth shloka described 5 obstacles. Fourth shloka described 5 obstacles. Now fifth shloka, when we follow this process described in the first 4 shlokas, and we humbly pray to Krishna, then we will attain our Swarupa. We will attain our Swarupa. What is that Swarupa? Krishna Das. We are servants of Krishna. So we attain that concept of being a servant of Krishna. That's our Swarupa. In that state of Swarupa, we can experience the emotions that Mahaprabhu describes in the next three shlokas. Nayanam Garadashrudharaya, Vadanam Gadgadardhayagina. And we'll get proper tears in our eyes, and we are chanting the holy names of the Lord. Some people imagine themselves to be a bhava stage. They are bhava stage. We don't need to count. Why we have to count? We have to chant. Constantly chanting is going on in my heart. Hari Bhakti Param Hari Namadharam Karajapya Karam Hari Nama Param Nayane Satatam Pranayashrudharam Pranavavisachi Sutta Gauravaram. Mahaprabhu is doing Karajapyakaram. He is chanting the holy names of the Lord by counting the names on his beads. He is showing what sadhana bhaktas are supposed to do. Then Mahaprabhu exhibited Nayane Satatam Pranayashrudharam. Before having Pranayashru, loving tears in your eyes, Karajapyakaram. First chant on your beads. Without that, whenever I go to the temple, I get tears in my eyes. I get goosebumps. I get Sweta, Ashra, Kulaka, people imagine themselves to be ecstasy, to be in ecstasy or to be in bhava stage. They eliminate the rules and regulations and vidhis of sadhana sometimes. But what is real bhava? What is imaginary bhava? If you read Bhakti Rasamrita in the Rutus on Rips, then we understand we have no bhava. If we really have bhava, they have lust, they have anger, they have envy. I mean, conscious externally. So these people who claim to be having so much bhava, emotions for the Lord, they just cannot control that little emotion of anger when somebody says or does something even slightly against their expectation. How can you become so agitated? You should be oblivious to what others do when you are in bhava. Very, very rarely you come to human plane in the bhava stage. So it's very, very scary thing to overestimate our bhakti. Better be humble. Actually speaking, those who are in the bhava stage, those are very, very advanced in bhakti, they don't reveal their inner emotions so easily. Those who are actually doing public display of devotional emotions, many times they are fake. And those who actually have deep emotions for Krishna, they hide them. They don't reveal them so easily. Right? So we cannot actually our Shastras sufficiently give us the scope not to become sahajiyas. How is important? Emotion is important, but it's not artificial emotion. It's not a premature display of emotions. It's a mature, acquired emotions, not acted emotions. You have to acquire that emotion by doing sadhana sincerely. By sincerely doing sadhana, by chanting the names of the Lord, by worshipping, by doing seva, by following the instructions of seniors, so we can advance to the stage of bhava. We cannot imagine ourselves to be on the stage of bhava. Anyways, coming back to this shloka, let's go a little deeper, but in a more streamlined manner. So that's why I opened the book so that I don't go everywhere. I'll give a concise definition in next 20-25 minutes. First, constitutional state. That constitutional state is Ainanda Tanuja Kinkram, a blissful servant of Krishna. Right? So Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, Mama eva amsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. Mama eva amsho. Everybody is a servant of Krishna. As an amsha of Krishna. So as an amsha, our duty is to serve. Prabhupada gives this example. Simple example. This body has multiple limbs. Each limb is an amsha. This hand is an amsha of the body. This finger is an amsha of the body. So the duty of a finger is to serve the whole body. Every part of the body is trying to serve the whole body. Similarly, we being amshas of Krishna, we are supposed to serve the Lord. That's our original constitutional provision. Right? The best way of living, let me meditate on this statement for a minute. The best way of living life is to be in harmony with the best part of ourselves. You understood this? the best way of living life is in harmony with the best part of ourselves. What did you understand? Before I elaborate this step, I'll speak the statement right there. The best way of living life is to be in harmony with the best part of ourselves. So what did you understand?
The best part of ourselves is the
To
source.
be what we are, not to fake ourselves. To be what we are.
To be what we are, not to fake. Very good. One perspective. Yes, ma'am.
Best part of ourselves is the super soul sitting within our mind.
Super soul is not our part. We are part of super soul. Okay, soul.
Only how to recognize the best part.
Huh?
We don't know our best part.
Realizing that
We
we
don't-
are not in harmony with ours.
Okay. We don't even know the best part. Okay, then you can't explain the statement. Who knows that we have best part?
Best part is the soul.
It's a proper instrument in the hands of that is being the best of ourselves.
Okay. The intention or ability to act as an instrument in the hands of superiors or Guru or Krishna or Shastras, that's the best part. Okay, very good. Very good. Anything else?
Be more self-reliant.
Identity of the soul.
Huh? Yes, Vishali.
So really we have shown this like example is a good dog, bad dog. So
Ah,
when
it's
we
close.
this good dog by feeding those qualities, and then we are spending more time in that zone, that is like harmony.
Very good. Very most accurate so far. Yes. So you want to say?
By recognizing, appreciating what God has given us,
Hmm.
and utilizing it in His service, like really harmonizing what we have instead of complaining what we don't have, then we actually get a feeling.
Very good. Any one last opinion?
The best part of ourselves is our original constitutional position, being the servant of the Supreme Lord and being in harmony with them.
Correct. Very good. Excellent. All answers are correct. Actually, all of us have multiple parts within us. When you say part, it could be part of your mind, or part of your intelligence, or part of your ego, or part of your body, whatever. We, as an entity, have multiple parts. A part of us is hankering for eating delicious food. A part of us is hankering for some recognition, name, fame, prestige. A part of us is hankering to experience some material pleasures, very high advanced technology, or a part of us is aspiring to go for an America tour. Nothing is there, don't worry. There's nothing there. I went there. Boring. So, no, it's not worth having that aspiration. But anyways, the part of a typical conditioned soul is aspiring to experience some pleasures in some place or in some way or some other. A part of us is also having some kindness among other people. A part of us is having some kind of concern and emotional attachment towards some family members and friends. A part of us is seeking knowledge. A part of us is wanting to give knowledge to others. But the best part of every single living entity is the desire to serve Krishna, the desire to love Krishna. That's the best part of us. When we're sitting in class, different people have different things going on in the mind. A part of your mind is thinking, oh, class is so nice. A part of your mind is saying, when will the class end? A part of yourself is saying, I know this point already. A part of you are not in the class, you are thinking about your school or college or your home or office, etc. And another part of us is thinking about some conflict that has happened with another devotee or a friend yesterday. And it's conflict. How many of you had this experience? You are in the class, you are thinking about some past incident. Sometimes we are reading a book sincerely. We are reading a book, we read 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages. Not a single line registered in the mind. We're reading.
Yes.
Paragraph after paragraph. Line after line you are reading, not a single line or point registered. Everything is fresh. I think you will open the same page and same paragraph. You don't feel like reading. First time you are seeing it. Because mind is somewhere else. So the mind or heart or whatever consciousness, it has multiple parts. And the best part of ourselves is that aspiration or the desire or that hankering to act as a servant of Krishna, loving servant of Krishna. So, the best way of living life is in harmony with that best part of ourselves. We have to be harmonious with that desire. None of us are bad. Don't think yourself as bad. Don't hate yourself. That does not mean you should not have genuine repentance. But I'm saying all of us are pure spirit souls. We all have the potential to love Krishna and serve Krishna. The only problem is Maya is distracting us. Because Maya is distracting us, that does not mean we are bad. When will we become bad? We become bad not because Maya is distracting us, but because we are giving into the distraction. Right? We are giving into the distraction of Maya. Maya will distract us. Right? That does not mean she is bad. She is doing her duty. What is the duty of Maya? To test us. How serious are we in Bhakti? And when we are advancing more in Bhakti, Maya will give more severe tests. Right? So an LKG student will get a small test only. Similarly, a neophyte devotee will get smaller tests. But an advanced devotee will get bigger tests because Maya will test us more. So her job is to test. Just because she is testing us and tempting us and alluring us and distracting us, that does not mean she is bad, that does not mean we are bad. When will we become bad? When we give in to the temptation. When we get attracted to the distraction that she is presenting. But it's very difficult to not give it because our force is very high. Therefore Krishna says, Daivi Hesha Gunapahi Mama Maya Duratya. Very difficult to surpass Maya. But very simple solution. Mame Vaye Prapadyante Maya Etam Tarantyate. Just take my shelter, I will help you. On our own, we cannot protect ourselves from the distractions of Maya. Please be assured about it. Right? Don't be overconfident. On your own, you can never protect yourself from the distractions of Maya. I'm not saying this, Krishna is saying this in the 7th chapter. We cannot save ourselves. We have no ability to save ourselves from the distractions of Maya. What will save us is only Krishna. And when will Krishna save us? When we sincerely take his shelter. Ma eva eva prapadyante. Ma eva means only me, nobody else. Ma eva eva prapadyante. Maya vetam tarantyate. If you take my shelter, then I will definitely protect you from Maya. If you don't take my shelter, how can I protect you from Maya? Because the Lord does not interfere with our independence. Right? So whether we want to give in to Maya or come under the protection of Krishna is our choice, our free will, our independence, which is always with us. Nobody, even Krishna doesn't interfere with that independence. If you voluntarily choose to take shelter of Krishna and pray for the strength from Krishna, please protect me from Maya. Give me the strength to not give in to the Maya's distractions and temptations. If you do so, then that is a sincere sadhana. The first step in becoming sincere is to realize that we are not sincere. When are we sincere? When we think we are insincere. Or when we acknowledge our insincerity, that is the first sincerity. When we sincerely realize that we are not sufficiently sincere, that is real sincerity. And such sincere souls are always protected to Krishna. But oftentimes our material mind or our false ego makes us think that I'm sincere, I'm sincerely doing, I'm sincerely chanting. I'm thinking of other things also, but I'm sincerely chanting. 16 rounds I'm completing. And we expect Krishna to hear the 16 rounds. We don't hear. We expect him to hear. Krishna, are you hearing? Are you hearing? What am I? Every time chanting 16 rounds, are you hearing or not? Does Krishna exist? That's the point. Are you hearing first? We expect him to hear. He is always hearing. He is hearing more attentively. He can tell you in which mantra, in which name of which mantra I will become distracted when I started thinking about some scandal that has happened. Krishna can tell you. He will give full record. And he gives them X-ray or CT scan or MRI report of your chanting. We will feel ashamed and we don't know where to hide our head. Krishna is noticing, he is sincerely hearing every mantra that we are chanting. From the first mantra of the first round to the 108th mantra of 16th round, he is sincerely hearing every single mantra, every single word of the mantra, every single syllable of the mantra, every single phoneme of the mantra he is hearing. And at what moment, at what millisecond have you become distracted from hearing his name to thinking of something else Krishna knows? And he's doing it since the moment we picked up the feedback. Since the moment he picked up the feedback, not that today only. He has been tracking your record. He has unlimited TBs of data to record every single person chanting, every thought that crossed our mind, every desire that entered our heart is noticed by Krishna. He's sincere, but we are not sincere. So, sincerity is in sincerely praying to Krishna to protect ourselves and reject Maya. So, yes, now let's know it. Constitutional state is to be a servant of Krishna. Now, Krishna's Swaraj Goswami says, Eka Krishna Sarvasivya Jagata Ishvara
Krishna Sarva Jagata Ishvara
Arayata Savatara Sevakanuchara
Arayata Savatara Seva
Keha Mane Keha Namane Savatara Das Eka Ishvara Krishna. Krishna is the one and only Ishvara. Everyone else is Das. Keha Mane Keha Namane Savatara Das. Some people accept that they are servants of Krishna. Some people don't accept that they are servants of Krishna. But whether we accept or not, they are servants of Krishna. That's our constitutional position. Mahaprabhu saying this. Ayinanda Tanuja Kinkaram. He says, I am a servant of Krishna. He is not Mahaprabhu's prayer. Mahaprabhu himself is Ayinanda Tanuja. And our prayer, we are Ayinanda Tanuja Kinkaram. Mahaprabhu can stop the statement at Ayinanda Tanuja. That's all. But when we are saying, we have to say Kinkaram. To teach us how to pray, Mahaprabhu himself saying it. Ayinanda Tanuja Kinkaram. Although he is Nanda Tanuja, who becomes Sati Tanuja, he says, I am Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram. This is what we are supposed to say. So that's our constitutional question. Actually, when we are saying we have to be servant, you have to be servant, you have to be servant, you have to be instrument, is the Lord bossing over us? Because nowadays, telling the people, especially Gen Z, because Gen Z, those who are in their early 20s and all, teens, they can't submit to anybody. They can't accept a slight feedback. They can't handle the situation where someone is pointing out their fault. You're intruding into my privacy. You are not giving me space. So, like, not everybody, but there are some very nice souls also, but there are some many people who are little, they are very uncomfortable to receive any feedback. Like that. How can I be servant? I want to be master. But only by being the servant you will get real spiritual bliss. There is no bliss in being a master. Or the bliss of being a servant is greater than the bliss of being a master. If it is not so, why would the Supreme Master Krishna aspire to become a servant of the Master in the mode of Radharani? The whole process, the whole concept of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's incarnation is a testimony for the emotion of being a servant of Krishna. Krishna is hankering to be a servant of Krishna. As Krishna, he is not relishing, he is not enjoying as much as being a servant of Krishna. That's why yesterday we were discussing in the evening. Vatapatra Shai. Krishna became very curious what my servants are experiencing, which I am not experiencing. Radharani is experiencing 10 billion times more happiness than me. I am receiving service, she is rendering service, but her happiness is 10 billion times more than my happiness. I want to become like that. So servant enjoys more than the master in the spiritual circles. In the material circles, master enjoys more than the servant. Because our Supreme Master Krishna is not insecure. Prabhupada writes in the second canto of Bhagavatam, no master in this material world will enjoy similar privileges with his servant. The CEO is sitting in an AC cabin, in a big desk, with so many chairs around him, sofas around him, and AC and all kinds of things. And his security guard is sitting on a wooden stool right outside the cabin. Right? So the enjoyment or the facility or the luxury of the master is more than that of the servant in the material world. But in the spiritual world, the servants are more happy than the master also. Krishna shares equal amount of privileges with all his servants more than he even enjoys. In the spiritual world, once Krishna went to a tree and asked the Krishna and Radharani, both of them went to a tree. Radharani asked the tree, give me some mangoes. Only to feed Krishna. Give me some mangoes. The tree was about to give. Krishna stood behind Radharani and said, no, don't. What did the tree do? Tree ignored Krishna's words and gave whatever fruits Radharani wanted. Krishna, he's a master, he's the boss. Now in a company, when the boss says something, and when a subordinate or a clerk or a security guard says something opposite, then will he have an existence there? But in the spiritual world, the tree is not listening to Krishna. The tree is listening to Radharani. So that is the privilege that Krishna gives to his devotees, and he hankers for their pleasure. I am not enjoying as Krishna as much as when I will enjoy when I become a servant of Krishna, when I adopt the mode of Radharani. That's why Mahaprabhu came in the form of Krishna came in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Gauranga Goswami says, Krishna dasa abhimana ye ananda sindhu koti brahma sukhana he tara eka bindu. Krishna dasa abhimana. The conception or the emotion of being a das, a servant of Krishna, will take you into an Ananda Sindhu, an ocean of Ananda, that in comparison to even a drop of that Ananda, the ocean of Brahmananda is insignificant. You multiply Brahmananda with 1 crore times, 1 crore x of Brahmananda is insignificant in comparison to 1 drop of Bhakti Ananda. So, being a servant of Krishna, being a servant of Krishna's devotees is the highest aspiration the soul can ever have, and it's the highest and natural constitution position of every soul. Even Krishna hankers for the pressure of that pure spirit soul who is filled with genuine service attitude. Right? So Ainanda Dhanajokikram is very important. Then, but problem is Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavan Bhudao. We fell into this material ocean. So now let me quickly enter the next episode. Let's discuss the material ocean. This material ocean has waves. You know what are the waves of this ocean? The threefold material miseries are the waves of the ocean. Then there are so many sharks, very dangerous sharks in this ocean. When somebody is swimming in the ocean, at any moment a shark can come and capture him. And who are the sharks? The 6 anarthas, lust, envy, pride, greed. There are all these sharks. Then in this ocean, there are some weeds. You understand weeds? Sometimes in the ocean, when somebody is swimming, they may see from a distance some kind of bushes, some kind of trees, some kind of weeds floating above the ocean, above the surface of the water. They give some hope that if you hold on to them, you will be protected from drowning. They give some hope like that. So this person will swim, and then somehow manage to reach the weeds, and they don't get protection because the weeds themselves will drown. You know what are the weeds? Karma, Dhyana, Yoga paths. Sometimes for someone who is drowning in this material ocean or struggling in this material ocean, these paths of Karma, Dhyana, Yoga, they give some hope. You take shelter of Karma Yoga or Karma Kanda, more dangerous. You take shelter of Karma Kanda, do some ritual, you worship this Devata, that Devata, then you will be saved from this Bhavasagara. They will say like that. But they don't understand the Devatas that they are worshipping are also in Bhavasagara only. They are the 3rd floor, we are the 1st floor, that's all. Bhumandala. Below that underground there are 7 floors. Right? Atala, Utala, Sukala, Rasatala, they are underground floors. In the depths of Bhumandala. Bhumandala is the ground floor. Gauranga is the 1st floor. Swargaloka is the 3rd floor. Just by going from Swargaloka is 2nd floor. Just by going from this Bhumandala, Bhumi plane, Earth plane to Swarga plane, you have not done anything. You have not eliminated your misery. Just because you are traveling in an AC compartment, which is a little more comfortable than a general compartment, will you reach the destination faster? So if the train is stuck with some difficulty, people who are in the AC compartment also will be stuck. The train is delayed, those who are in AC compartment also will be delayed. If you enter the AC compartment, you will reach destination faster. Nobody will promise like that. You are genuinely comfortable. Similarly, in the Svargaloka also, there may be extra comfort, but they are also subject to birth, death, old age, disease. Right? So some Vedic paths like karma path will promise heavenly enjoyment. Jnana path will promise liberation. Yoga path will promise some mystic siddhis, ashta siddhis, anima, mahima, lahima, garima, prapti, and all that. So this karma path, jnana path, yoga path, which are promising so many ways of delivering you from the samsara sagara, they are like weeds, they are not boats. Weeds cannot protect, boat only can protect. What is the boat? Boat is bhakti. And also, when we are drowning in the ocean, there are winds. So many winds. What is that wind? Bad association. That intensifies suffering, like blazing storms and violent winds that will make survival even harder. So in this material ocean, we have seen the material existence is like an ocean. What are the waves? Waves are difficult. Threefold miseries. Sharks, weeds, so-called spiritual parts of karma, jnana, yoga, and winds. So we are in the midst of this. What is the way to come out of it? Both, correct. Kritsrovahan iha bhavarnavamaplavesham shadvarganakrama sukhena titirishanti tattvam hare bhagavato bhajaniyamangrim krutvodapam yasanamuttaradustaranam.
You can take this.
It's right.
No, it's going on. It's one.
Hare Krishna.
Krutro bhavan iha bhavarnavam aplavesham. This material ocean is very difficult to surpass. Bhava arnavam is ocean. Shadvarga nakrama sukhena titirishanti. This is infested with so many sharks. Shadvarga nakram means the six anarthas, which are sharks. Tattvam harer bhagavato bhajaniyamangrim. But if you take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, bhajaniyamangrim. The lotus feet of the Lord are bhajaniya, worthy of worship. Tattvam harer bhagavato bhajaniyamangrim. And that attempt that you make to worship the lotus feet of the Lord will act like a boat. Krutvodapam yasanamuttaradustaranam. Krutva udupam. Udupa is boat. So your attempt to take shelter of Krishna acts like a boat that saves you from the material existence, material ocean. So Bhagavatam sufficiently declares that this boat is the process of bhakti yoga. Boat that boat. Don't trust weeds. Sometimes some dead bodies are floating in the ocean. Some people kill somebody and throw the dead body in the ocean, and the dead body starts floating. And you think, oh, it's a wonderful log, wonderful boat, and we just go and hold on to it. How long you can hold on to dead body and then float in the ocean? Not possible. Are some logs are there? Wooden logs are there? Sometimes when you are holding on to the logs, so many logs are there. Logs will themselves will hit us. Two logs can come and hit us like this. Karma path and jnana path will hit us like this, and we'll drown in the ocean. So this is the nature of material ocean. The only process of coming out of it is sincerely taking shelter of Krishna. Krishna, please protect me, reinstate me, please pick me up from this fallen state and reinstate me as a speck of dust at your lotus feet. There's no end to describing this shloka, very beautiful and profound shloka. So, but I think I'll conclude here. 9:16.
You have time.
You may have some questions. I can continue, but you want to ask some questions, or should I continue?
9:30.
Okay. So the second half of the shloka says, first half we have seen Ainanda Tanuja Kikram, the constitutional position of the soul. Second line we have seen Patitam Mam Ushane Bhavamudo, the conditional state of the soul, means the fallen state of being in the material ocean. And the third line says Kripaya Tamapada Pankaja Sthita Dholi Sadrisham Vijaya means you please consider me as a speck of dust at your lotus feet and give me the opportunity to serve you. Let me come back to my original constitutional position. So, in this context, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, first one shloka in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says, Bhavantamevanucharam nirantara prashanta nihishesha manorathantara kadahamaikantika nitya kinkara prahashayishyami sanatha jivitam. Bhavantamevanucharam nirantara. The devotee's prayer is, O Lord, eva anucharam nirantara, let me be your constant companion. Let me accompany you constantly. Anucharam nirantara. Prashanta nishesha manorathantara. Only when I become your anuchara or follower of your instructions, follower of your teachings, subscriber of your devotional path, then prashanta, my heart will become prashanta. The conditioned soul's heart is agitated always, constantly agitated with material desires, agitated with so many unwanted emotions and feelings and desires and hankerings and attachments and aversions, unfulfilled hankerings, agitated. But that mind will become calm, that heart will become calm, prashant. Nihishesha manorathanta. What destroys our shanti is manoratha. Manoratha means unwanted desires. Nihishesha manorathanta means the material desires will become nishesha, means they will become extinct, they will become zero. Prashanta nishesha manorathantara kadaham aikantika nitya kinkara. Aikantika means one pointed devotion, right? Ekanta bhakti, right? So, ekantika nitya kinkara, let me be your nitya kinkara, let me be your constant servant, and let me constantly hanker for the position of being a servant. A sadhaka has an understanding that I am a servant of Krishna, but a sadhaka does not constantly act on this plane. The difference between an advanced devotee and a neophyte devotee is both have an understanding that they are servants of Krishna, but an advanced devotee is constantly in the mood of being a servant of Krishna. A neophyte devotee, once in a while he remembers that I am a servant of Krishna, but most of the times he forgets. Most of the times we forget. We may chant, we may hear, we may worship, we may preach, we may do so many things, but sometimes or many times Maya will make us think that you are not a servant, you are the boss, you are the leader, you are the ruler, you are the master, you are the proprietor, you are the enjoyer. You have given kantimalas to all these people, right? You are the boss. So Maya will those people sincerely following, they can go back to Godhead sometimes. But those who are guiding them, they must start here also. And if you go to the entrance of the scripture, it says that I have made so many people into devotees. You know, Vishnu Dats are not allowing me. They will say, I have made so many people into devotees, but you have forgotten to take one person as a devotee. You have forgotten to make one person as a devotee. Sometimes we may enlighten others. Why is it going? I'm not saying this. You go to 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Go to 18th chapter. I think 4th shloka. Yeah. Vadanti Vishwam Kavayas Vanashvaram Pashyanti Chatyam Mavido Vipaschitah Tathavi Muhyanti Tava Jamayaya Suvismitam Krutyamajam Natosmitam. Vadanti Vishwam Kavayas Vanashvaram. Vadanti Vishwam means so many people are there. Great preachers, great enlighteners, great teachers. They have understood the temporary nature of this material world. They will teach and preach and they will convince everyone about the temporary nature of this material world. Tathapi still Muhyanti, they are bewildered. By whom? Tava Ajamaya, by your Maya or Lord. Tathapi Muhyanti Tava Ajamaya. To what degree? Suvismitam. Vismitam means to get bewildered. Suvismitam is extremely thoroughly bewildered. Brahma is the one who prayed for Krishna's appearance. He is the one who took all the avatars and Mother Earth also to the shore of Milk Ocean. He chanted Om Purusha Suktam, and then he begged Krishna, please come. But when Krishna started eating the chota of Madhumangal, Brahma, is he really God? He forgot that he only invited him. He only invited him to come here, and he appeared in Vrindavan, and Brahma offered prayers also. When Krishna entered the womb of Mother Devaki, Brahma offered prayers, he came there. But within 7 years he forgot. 7 human years, not even 7 Brahma years. Within 7 human years, he forgot. Right? So that is when Krishna was 7 years old, it happened. I think 6 years old. Krishna was 6 years old. When Brahma Mahalaya happened, he forgot completely. Okay, fine. That is under the spell of Yoga Maya. Brahma's bewilderment is not under the spell of Mahamaya. We come to Indra. Indra is a very advanced devotee, no doubt. He's a mixed devotee, but advanced than many neophytes studying here. Right? So he's a devotee. He is also there when Brahma was praying. But in Govardhan Leela, he tried to obstruct Krishna, and then he got a lesson also. And sometimes you may make a mistake, and somebody will enlighten you, and you realize your mistake, you beg forgiveness, you repent. After that, at least, Sudharna Chayana. After that, at least they should come back to normal, right? But the same Indra, who was thoroughly humiliated and humbled in Govardhan episode, he confronted with Krishna in Parijata episode. When Krishna was 7 years old, he was humbled. But when Krishna became a little older and he went to Dwaraka, so Indra forgot. Forget Dwaraka, forget Govardhan episode also. Before Krishna killed Narakasur, Indra came from Indrapuri Swargaloka to Dwaraka, fell at the feet of Krishna and said, please protect us from Narakasur. Just maybe a few days, 2 days or 3 days, I don't know. Just a few days, few hours, few human hours back, Indra is begging Krishna, falling at the lotus feet of Krishna and saying, please protect us from this Parasura and Narakasura. He has come to heaven. He created big havoc there. He has stolen Aditi's earrings. He has taken away Varuna's chakri. So please protect. And Krishna went and killed Narakasura. And very respectfully, Krishna went to offer all the heavenly paraphernalia, door delivery at heaven. He went there. Krishna went along with Satyabhama to do door delivery of all the things that Narakasura has stolen. Indra became grateful, but within a moment, when Krishna wanted one little plant, one little tree, Parijata tree from the heaven, Indra said, okay, you take it away from me. Where did he get Parijata tree? When Krishna did not orchestrate the Samudra Manthan, all the heavenly appliances did not have come. So we can work with it. So we should never be overconfident. We should never underestimate Maya. The more time we are spending in Bhakti, the more is the possibility of Maya presenting greater tests. And the greatest bewilderment comes on the internal plane, not external plane. When we somehow manage to control external anarthas, we may not aspire to wear colorful dresses or having different hairstyles or whatever for a period of time. Internal subtle lust is there. Desire for name, fame, prestige, power, control, position, privileges. People should honor me, people should respect me. So that can come. So we need to be extremely careful about that. So, now, we'll conclude with one nice shloka. So in this shloka, Mahaprabhu said, take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna and become a dust at his lotus feet. Now let's conclude with this is the quoted this. Anaradhya Radha Padam Bhojarenu Anashritya Vrindatamim Tat Padankam Asambhashitat Bhavakam Bhira Chittan Kutah Shyama Sindho Rasasyavagaha. So Acharyas are very expert and relishers of this Krishna Gatha. When Mahaprabhu is saying, take shelter of Krishna's dust, immediately Acharyas are quoting, take shelter of Radharani's dust. Without taking shelter of Radharani's dust, you cannot get Krishna's dust. The meaning of the shloka is like this. You also recite, Anaradhya Radha Padam Bhojarenu Anaradhya Radha Padam Bhojarenu Anashritya vrindatavim tatpadakam. Anashritya vrindatavim tatpadakam. Asambhashitadbhavagambhirachitta. Right. Asambhashitadbhavagambhirachitta. Utah shyama sindho rasasyavagaha. Utah shyama sindho rasasyavagaha. After knowing the meaning, you'll be more enthusiastic to listen. First one. Anaradhya Radha Padam Bhoja Renu. Very simple shloka. Aradhya means to worship. Anaradhya means not worshiping. Anaradhya Radha Padam Bhoja Renu. If you are not inclined to worship the dust particles at the lotus feet of Radharani. Padam Bhoja means lotus feet. Renu means dust particles at the lotus feet. Anaradhya Radha Padam Bhoja Renu. If you don't worship the lotus feet, the dust from the lotus feet of Radharani. First point. Second point. Anashritya Vrindatavim Tatpadakam. Ashritya means to take shelter. Anashritya means not taking shelter. Anashritya Vrindatavim. Vrindatavi. Atavi means? One means? First. So Vrindavan is also called Vrindatavi. Right? Anashritya Vrindatavim Tatpadakam. Tatpadakam means Radharani's footprints are there in this Vrindavan Dham. So if you don't take shelter of Vrindavan Dham, which is imprinted with the footprints of Radharani, that is the second point. What is the first point? If you don't take shelter of the dust of lotus feet of Radharani. Second, if you don't take shelter of Vrindavan Dham, which is imprinted with her footprints. Third point. Anashritya Vrindatavim Tatpadakam Asambhashitat Bhava Gambhira Chitta. Sambhashana means conversation, talking. Asambhashita means not talking, not conversing, not nicely and not lovingly conversing. Right? Asambhashita. Asambhashita bhavagambhira chitta. So there are some great devotees who have bhavagambhira, means they are very grave in their emotions in taking shelter of Radharani. So these devotees have taken shelter of Radharani. If you don't converse with them, if you don't lovingly talk to the devotees of Radharani, Kutaha Shyama Sindho Rasasyavagaha. How can you ever enter into the nectarian meadows of Shyama Sindhu? Shyama is Krishna. Shyama Sindhu means Krishna ocean. Krishna is an ocean of what? Rasa. So Krishna is an ocean of rasas. Avagaha means to relish it, to experience it. How can you ever experience the nectarian meadows of Sri Krishna without taking shelter of Radharani's foot dust, without taking shelter of Vrindavan, without taking shelter of Radharani's devotees? Three things. Dust from Radharani's lotus feet. Second, Vrindavan Dham, which is imprinted with her footprints. Third, talking to devotees of Radharani. So without devotees of Radharani, without dust of Radharani, without Vrindavan, we cannot take shelter of Krishna. Therefore, to become reinstated in the lotus feet of let's go check it out. Okay. 9:31. Sorry. 1 minute extra. Thank you, Sri Chaitanya Sikshastakam ki jai, Sri Prabhu Maharaj. Any questions at all?
Hare Krishna. Let us thank this Gauranga Darshan for 3 hours enthusiastic. There are many more programs Prabhuji is doing. Please block your calendar. This Gaur Purnima is really special. Isn't it? How many of you feeling Gaur Purnima is really special? We had Bhakti Maharaj coming and now Prabhuji coming and so many nectarian classes, actually exposing the anarthas within so clearly. Yesterday when Prabhuji was speaking, about the Radhanam, Nasundara, every single point is like reflecting of my current state, I can tell you. So I got so many answers there, what is over, what is over. So yesterday I was asking Prabhuji while driving back from Udayanand Rose's class in Pebble City, I was asking Prabhuji, the the inclination to do arthas are not going. The inclination is not how do you do. So Prabhuji said they are sometimes needed to humble you. So that was again amazing. These points, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. How is this mic?
Okay.
Good, right?
You can use.
No. Can everybody hear me?
No.
If we are proud,
If you are proud of this mic, this is us. And these batteries are Prabhuji's classes. This kind of classes are recharging us, preparing us to go back to Krishna. And if you miss these classes, then Krishna is definitely going to send an MRI report to Prabhuji told. My takeaway from today's class is if Krishna comes in front of me, I'll tell, don't show me the reports. Because I don't want to see that report. When today morning report is not good. I don't want to see that report. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the examples you're giving. And can't believe this little hall has so much that Krishna is giving from here in the form of different sannyasi Maharaj who came, 9 sessions of Chaitanya Charan Prabhu right here, so he came 9 days. Unbelievable. But problem is, this mind keeps forgetting that. But I think if we are constantly coming here without any gap and not leaving an opportunity for Maya to divert us and keeping this as the highest priority, this Prabhuji could have given this class anywhere else, right? But we have requested Prabhuji and Prabhuji accepted. And in fact, when I told Prabhuji that, Prabhuji, please give us, he only told, why don't we do Sikshastakam? In that chat when I was having it, what is the thing? So it's a great sign that Krishna is asking Prabhuji to do something for us. And Prabhuji is proposing it. So as Prabhuji told in the beginning about jnana and how much ego jnana can bring, now we have heard this jnana, it should reflect into seva, right? So right after this class, whoever can stay back and clean one part of the hall. Say you're given this part of the hall, bring everything out, clean everything and keep it back, right? So because we want to invite Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here, not with dust and all these things, right? Even if all of us or some of us spend 20 minutes cleaning this, then definitely what Prabhuji told, Cheto Darpana Mandiram will happen in our hearts. So let us take this opportunity and decorate our heart, decorate this hall tomorrow by coming early. Don't come late. If somebody has an office, you don't have an option. If somebody has a parent or some medical care inside in your home, you don't have an option. But if you have an option, if you really have an option and you're coming late, that means you're actually not giving your best to Krishna. And Prabhuji told, harnessing the best in you makes you happy in life, right? So we have to harness the best in us tomorrow and after also. But tomorrow is Gaur Purnima. Please fast until moonrise, right? Until moonrise. And the hall will be open tomorrow. Somebody wants to come and chant here. Through the day you can chant. Morning till evening, you just keep chanting. And prepare as many items for inviting Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Our target is
365.
365, right? So that means at least one thing we offered one day, each day of the year, as a satsang, as a whole group. Right? We are representing ourselves as a whole satsang in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Abhishekam will happen. Dot 5:30, Abhishekam is going to start. And dot 6 o'clock, it will get over. Right? So that is a half an hour slot. And in half an hour, if 200 people are there, then that itself is difficult to finish it. Right? So please come on time. Please take half day leave if you have to take in your offices. Now only inform. And tomorrow is Holi anyways. Many of them have holidays as well. And so 6 o'clock, the lecture will start 6 to 8 o'clock. We have 2 hours of detailed information will hear. And then we'll also, offer the Chapan Bhog 3. Chapan 3 kya bolte hain? Means of peasant folk. We'll try to raise that number. Let us individually target that. We want to do it as a group, right? And after the festival, day after tomorrow morning, there is a class by Prabhuji in Telugu in Lansam, Kenya. Subara Prabhu is organizing. Everybody go take advantage. And afternoon in my home Ankura, there is a class by Prabhuji in Telugu again. So please go and take advantage there as well. My home Ankura. Devotees will be so happy to see you in their office. No need for any count, no need for anything. He is already counting. He was working. And evening class is in late evening class. My home jewel in Madinaguda. Prabhuji is going to give. That will be Gauranga celebrations again. Again Abhishek. They are doing it on Saturday. Prabhuji will be going there. And that will be English. That will be English. That is English. And Sunday, Prabhuji is going to Abbot's Temple. If somebody wants to hear in Abbot's Temple, take darshan of Radha Mother Mohan, and also hear from Prabhuji in Abbot's Temple. They also have Sunday peace class. And then Sunday evening, Prabhuji is giving a class in English in NCC Urban. But I request, they already have a congregation where they're doing. That is the reason we wanted Prabhuji to go there, but everybody else stay back here because Prasad Prabhu is going to give a class on chanting holy names, 450 rounds in 7 days, right? Something that they have done recently. He and many others have gone along with their grace Anandandan Prabhu to Siddhapakul. And in first day they chanted 128 rounds and then 6 days of continuously chanting 64 rounds. And in between they have heard classes and they have heard inspirational things from His Grace Brajvihari Prabhu and Anandandan Prabhu. So even though we could not go to Siddhapakul, but whatever that he could accumulate, assimilate, he's going to put it all in a presentation. Today morning he sent me the presentation. I was mesmerized just looking at the content of the presentation. I don't know how we'll finish in one session, but don't miss it. It's going to happen here. Prabhuji told one thing, I like with this, that while they were doing this in Siddhapakul, in between His Holiness Bhakti Vaishnava Parabrajikacharya Maharaj, he came there. And he didn't know that devotees are sitting and chanting. He was visiting Jagannath Puri, he just came and said, oh my God, so many people are chanting. And then he asked, what is going on here? And someone told, Maharaj, this is a marathon of 7 days, chanting 64 rounds every day with 128 rounds in the beginning. And Maharaj, in one sentence he told, this is what we are supposed to do after hearing, learning, doing everything. And you are doing the exact final thing, that we are supposed to do. So, all these classes and festivals should improve our chanting, should induce us to chant more. And Sunday's class is the essence that we are going to receive from Prasad Prabhu. So Krishna has planned Prasad Prabhu to go from Dechubali Sansan there, so he gets that and comes and gives it back to us. So don't miss it. And don't try to hear it online. Come and hear it in person. It's a different aspect. And encourage your satsang devotees also to come on Sunday. We are very grateful, Prasad Prabhu, that you are coming and sharing this with all of us. And of course, we have many things happening next following week as well, which announcements will be later. If your children are in schools, if you're there in schools, start thinking of approaching the authorities for Rath Yatra in school, right? And please come back to me. And the form that I have said, how many have received the form to fill for Rath Yatra? You all have received? I'll again send it. There are numbers to whom you need to contact. More announcements I'll do it tomorrow after Gaur Purnima lecture. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Darshan Prabhu ki, Sikshastakam prayers ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, all assembled devotees ki, Gaur Premanande.